What's up, guys? Welcome to another free coaching video with me, Vibe. Today we're doing a Zerg vs Terran, and we have Mist versus Jean Galt. This is Masters League. It'll be interesting to see how they play it out. I haven't seen either of these two ever play before, so we're in for some fucking possible like random stuff going on here. Who knows? Hopefully it's a good game. But yeah, both players are Masters level, so we'll see how it goes. And if you guys don't know how this works, if this is the first time you're viewing one of these videos, what I do is I normally watch a game from a Zerg's perspective. I try to get equal level opponents, so it's not just like a steamroll one way or the other. And I will tell you guys what I think the Zerg is doing well, what I think he's not doing well, what things he can improve on. And it's basically just a free coaching lesson for everybody. I give you guys my thoughts on the game. So he went 18 hatchery, that's fine. 18 hatchery, you still don't larva cap with 18 hatchery, although I feel like 17 hatchery is ideal. Because 17 hatchery, you can throw a hatchery down and you can still spin your larva very fast. But he went for a, it looks like he went for 18, 18, 18, that's fine. It's really very minor, very minor differences in the builds between 17, 17, 17 and 18, 18, 18. And if you guys don't know what that means, it's the amount of supply you have when you build a building, whether it be a hatchery, a pool, and a gas. All around though, it's fine. I gotta mute the music, it's kind of loud. All around, build's fine though. The biggest thing is you don't want to supply cap you don't want to larva cap on your hatchery, and you never will doing either of those 17 or 18 type builds. I do like that he's taking a gas. I always love seeing Zerg take gas. It's really risky if you go gasless against Terran nowadays because so many people Reaper all in, and if you get Reaper all in without a gas, you're probably going to die. He's continuing to mine gas though. This is interesting. Oh wait, never mind. This is pretty standard now. I actually, this is like my favorite build against Terran. I really like taking the drones off gas, taking 2 out of the 3 drones off gas, and just leaving 1 on. And now we see a Reaper. He only made 2 Ling, or he made 4. 4 is probably like, I feel like one of the better numbers to make. 2 is really greedy. I wouldn't recommend people make 2 because a lot of times your drones have to be microed and it's kind of annoying. I might even start making 4 myself now, just in general, because a lot of games where I only make 2, I have to like make fucking spores and it's not really worth it. You should make enough Lings to push the Reaper away, so your drones can mine freely. But he's doing well, he's holding. He's also making a 3rd queen. I really like it so far. I would love to see him, since he's going so mineral heavy, I would love to see him try to take a 3rd soon. Like throw a creep tumor down here and then just go right to the 3rd and try and take it with his queen here. Meanwhile, scouting, I like that he's trying to scout in the base. This is very good. I also like that he's scouting from 2 angles with 2 overlords. He's playing well. I like Jean Galt's playstyle so far is good. This resembles how I play as well. I think it's, like I said before, I think it's one of the better ways to play against Terran. Like, this is huge right now. He sees, oh, you took 3 command centers really fast. Alright. This Overlord should just, like, peace out now. It already has seen what it needs to see. And this Overlord saw a factory and a barracks. This is the only production the Terran has. I like that he's leaving, but what I would love for him to do, now that he sees the factory, is check out what add-on is on it. Like, he could actually know, since the Overlord's still here, just poke forward a little bit. See it. It's probably a reactor. It is a reactor. But one thing he can do right now... What did I just do? Okay. That was fucking weird. One thing he could do right now, totally, is... seeing that the Terran is so greedy... Holy shit, he cancelled. Seeing that the Terran is so greedy with command centers going 1-1-1... Or, sorry, he went barracks, then command center, and then a factory. Like, this factory and the command center are finishing roughly around the same time. I would love it if this Zerg player would actually do one of 2 things. Either take a 4th base and go super greedy on drones, or just, be greedy on drones, take a 3rd, and also get some Lings out to deal with these Hellions. Like, I feel like he can be insanely greedy right now, because the Terran's going to be greedy too. He's actually going for Hellbats. This is very committed on these Hellbats. We have the potential of Roaches though. I like the fact that he built the Roach one. It's very important. What he really needs to do right now is just not focus too hard on trying to micro one fight, and he needs to make sure his drones don't die. He needs to really focus on the drones not ever getting hit. Queens can die, that's fine. But if the drones start getting compromised, like this is very close, and so is this, he needs to make sure his drones don't die. Holy shit, this is so close. And behind this, I would love to see him make nothing but drones again. Because this is very light pressure, guys. This is actually double factory Hellion. But he has Roaches already. Roaches can easily deal with this. I would love to see just more bases from the Zerg. He dealt with it pretty well. He didn't fully see the double factory from his perspective. So that's fair. He could take a little bit of drone losses. Overall, he took 9 drone losses. That's really not that bad at all. This is a bit greedy, in my opinion. I don't know if he really should be pushing out here, because what if there was more Hellions out on the map and they just like ran down into his third? He would lose more drones. He doesn't have more defense. He's going back to making full drones. So this is a bit of a risky move here. It's not necessarily going to be bad if he like kills Hellbats and does damage. That's actually good. He's lucky that the Terran army is still back here, but yeah, he opened himself up to a timing where if more Hellions wanted to counterattack, they could. But it worked out. He's doing damage, so it's going to pay off for him. Yeah. The biggest thing here for Zerg is saturate 3 bases as fast as possible. It looks like he wants to go for the Roach style, which is more than fine. I think Roach style is totally doable. I actually think Roach style is probably better against the style that he's up against right now, because you have more options to do more aggression early. Like if he was gonna go Muta, he couldn't be aggressive early, and he would just be waiting for the Muta, and by the time they make him out, there could be Widow Mines and missile turrets and all that stuff. But yeah, anyways, the Roach style works. I really like that he's now taking a 4th. He really needs to capitalize on the fact that the Terran's army is not ever going to be something that's going to kill the Zerg. The only way the Terran's going to do damage to the Zerg is if the Zerg is out of position and drones die, but no bases are ever going to die to like the mass Hellions he had before. And now he sees it's turning into bio. So as Zerg, the way I would play it, again, just to give you guys a very easy, explained in a small amount of words thing that he should do right now. This is what he should do. Saturate 4 bases. Terran will not attack right now. Saturate 4 bases. Go into maxed out Roach, Ravager, Hydra, Infestor. Any combination of those. Roach, Ravager, Hydra, Infestor. Max out once you've fully saturated 4 bases. And then after he saturates 4 bases, he really should like take a 5th, which is what he's doing right now. I like it, because his main and his natural are going to mine out soon, and he really wants to be able to transfer his drones from these bases. So have 4 base economy running at all times here. So for now, it'll be his main's going to start mining out. He takes a 5th. When his natural starts mining out, he could take a 6th. And he could just transfer drones that are in existing bases that are mining out to new bases later on. But stay around like 70 to 75 drones. And right now he's at 69. So that's fine. He doesn't necessarily need a macro hatch because he's going for expensive units. He's going for Hydras, he's going for Roaches. They're not Zerglings, so he doesn't need a macro hatch. If he was going for a Ling style, I would say make a macro hatch. But Roach Hydra, you can spend your money on 1 base per, or 1 hatchery per base kind of economy, so that's fine. I do also really like that he's transitioning into melee upgrades here, and he's going into an Ultralisk Cavern. He didn't commit to going to 2-2 Roach Hydra. He only went 1-1, and now he's getting Carapace and melee. So his Lings and Ultras will be 2-1, which is totally fine. I would love to see him, though, not wait for Ultras to really push. I would love to see him max out on Roach Hydra first, and then push really hard with that. And then later on, transition into Ultras after he starts losing some Roach Hydra supply. Because what I think he should really be doing right now is taking map control and never letting the Terran take a 4th base. Because both Zerg and Terran at this point are going to mine out in their mains. Like, look at the main, it's starting to mine out. The natural for Terran is also getting a little low. The 3rd's fresh, so it's fine. But both players are going to need to start taking more of the map very soon. So I would love to see the Zerg here just max out before making Ultras and go for it. But if he makes Ultras, it's fine. It's still not bad. But the Terran could capitalize and take a 4th base while the Zerg does that. And if the Terran gets like Liberators because he sees, oh, you're going Ultras, he could possibly hold his 4th. So I would love it if the Zerg just made sure the Terran couldn't take a 4th. I feel like that would be the best way to go about doing it, but either way, it still could work either way. Just the way the game developed, the Zerg has the potential of map control, which is why I'm kind of talking about that. But now, anyways, since the Zerg is kind of committed to going into now Ultras, he's already made Ultras, he's not pushing yet. He is maxed now, though. He really should push now, and he shouldn't really commit too hard into the Terran's 3rd at this point now, since he waited for Ultras. So he doesn't want to throw away a small Ultra army when he doesn't need to. But what he should do is he should make sure the Terran doesn't take a 4th base. And if the Terran does, then he should commit into trying to stop that. He should try to stop the 4th base from going down at all costs. But then he should slowly try to whittle away his roach count. Like, don't just throw it away really cost inefficiently. But he should start getting rid of his roach supply, because it is really worthless. These roaches now, at this point in the game, are a waste of supply. Now that he's letting the Terran get more and more supply. The closer the Terran gets to maxing out, the worse Roach Hydra becomes. Which is why I was saying before, he should have done a timing when he had a massive supply lead. But yeah, the closer the Terran maxes out, worse Roach Hydra gets, so he should start trying to trade the supply off. And then he should try to not throw away these Ultras right now while he does that. He should only try to take a cost-efficient fight at a 4th base, and then maybe try to, you know... Like, this is going to be a little questionable. He's going to lose a lot of his army, but he might still win the game. But he's going to lose a lot of his army because he didn't take a fight when I feel like he had the major advantage. He still wins. He still wins because of the fact that Ultras are very strong. They tanked the shit out of that fight. But these Roaches, they didn't have Roach speed, which is, it's fine, whatever. I think he should have got Roach speed. I think it was a mistake they didn't get it. I don't think it's part of his normal build that he didn't have it. But the Roaches are just bad supply overall. Like I said before, I've said it like 3 times. They're bad supply. The closer the Terran gets to maxing out, the worse they are. Roaches are only good when you outnumber your opponent, or when it's against an army composition that's just really bad, like Mass Hellions against Mass Roaches. Roaches will win that fight in equal supply, which is like one of the only units they'll beat in equal supply. But against like Bio Medevac with equal supply, Roaches lose. Against like tanks and Bio with equal supply, Roaches and Hydras get destroyed. The Ultras definitely did give him a little bit of a tank here, but once again, just to clarify, the Zerg had a really good lead going into the mid game because the Zerg took, you know, a greedy fucking up to 4 bases pretty quick. The Terran tried to take it 3rd. The Zerg did a little bit of a risky move out and made himself a little bit vulnerable to Hellions to run by. So what he should have done to make himself not really vulnerable to that is if he's going to move out with like all of his army, maybe make like 5 more Roaches back at home just to sit here, just in case like 8 Hellions show up and go, time to kill drones. Well then, you're not going to lose nearly as many because you made a few Roaches just in case that could happen. But then when he actually, this Ultra's going crazy by the way, when he actually got to the point to where he was going to max out on, or when he was getting ready to max out on Roach Hydra, he stopped at like 160 supply and waited for Ultras. I would have loved it if he would have just maxed out and it did the exact same push he just did right now, but instead of like the difference would be, instead of having like the 6 Ultras that he had, no more Ultras. He has that supply, which is like 30 supply. All that supply now is in more Hydras and more Roaches. Let's just say hypothetically, that's like 6 Hydras and 9 Roaches. Because that's 30 supply as well. So he'd have more Roach Hydra. And then he would have maxed out as well faster. So he would have just had a big Roach Hydra push. But then on top of that, if that would have happened, the Terran would have had probably like 20 supply less than what he had as well. So what happened with Zerg waiting for Ultras, it's a good move in my opinion, it's fine. It's a different way of playing it. But the one problem with it is if you give the Terran time, and if in that time frame, if the Terran scouts you're going into an Ultra transition and you're waiting for Ultras to pop out, if the Ultra perfectly counters against the... If the Terran perfectly counters the Ultras that are inevitably going to come with a Roach Hydra push, your army is substantially weaker now because you're focusing on like a mid-range Zerg army where it's half Ultra style, half Roach Hydra. And if the Ultras get picked off very quickly by either Ghosts or Liberators, there's really nothing to deal with the Liberators with this kind of army, because the Hydras, if they run forward, there's not a lot. They will get picked off very fast by Liberators. The Queens are slow as shit off creep. They're not going to be a reliable way to kill Liberators. So if there was like 5 Liberator fields set up over here and the Ultras just ran into it and died, as soon as the Ultras die, the Roach Hydra is going to get just demolished at that point, because you gave the Terran more time. So that's the one part about it I don't like. If the Terran doesn't perfectly prepare for Ultras, though, and have some way to just pick them off immediately, then what we just saw happen could happen. He did start making Ghosts, which I liked, but there wasn't enough damage directly dealt to the Ultras fast enough, and the Ultras just kind of like walked into the bio and killed it while the Roach Hydra walked behind it. So yeah, the big thing, if you're gonna go Roach Ravager, Roach Hydra, that kind of a style, and you have a lead in the mid game, always, like, in my opinion, and you want to transition to Ultras later, just max out, do a fucking big ass attack when you have the big advantage, and then when you want to remax your supply after that and refresh your supply, go into Ultra style then later. I would like that better. And then from the Terran side of things, his build was a little interesting. He was like he did like a drone killing build. He opened up with it was 1 Rax into 2 command centers into double factory, and he went for Tech Lab and a armory. I feel like that was a little not really needed, in my opinion. I feel like you have 2 options as Terran. One, you go for a Tech Lab and you go for 2 factories and you skip the armory and you just go for Blue Flame and you drive around with Blue Flame and you just roast drones as fast as possible with fast Hellions. And the second option is you get an armory and you get double reactor Tech Labs, because I don't feel like there's any point to getting one of your factories having a Tech Lab, and the only thing that it really opens up for you is the possibility of Blue Flame, but it also means you're only making 3 Hellions per rotation instead of 4. But in reality, if you turn your Hellions into Hellbats, they're gonna, like, they were fighting Roaches, and Blue Flame doesn't do anything to Roaches. So it literally is pointless. All it does is it upgrades your versus light damage, and Roaches are not light, they're armored. So it doesn't do anything. It doesn't make, and the only thing it would really do, I guess, is if you had some of your Hellions not in Hellbat mode, and they just drive around and try to kill drones while your Hellbats distract. I guess would be the trade-off there. But I feel like, yeah, I feel like for Terran it should either be armory, and if you want to go 2 factories, double reactor, or no armory, and 1 reactor, 1 Tech Lab, and then you could go like for Blue Flame, 3 Hellion at a time. With the style he did, I like the fact that he was making a bunch of Hellions. I would have honestly preferred double reactor, because he did have a Tech Lab, I think, and a reactor. Or did he? Or did he have double reactor? I might be fucking crazy. I feel like I'm actually crazy. I actually think this is where the factory was, and this is where the factory was. So I take it back. The logic I just said there is actually true, but I actually think he went for double reactor factory. My bad. I'm sorry, guys. He actually was making 4 Hellions at a time, now that I think about it, so his build is fine. The one thing about his build, beyond that I can talk about is, if he's going to commit that hard to Hellions, the one thing he could have actually done is, I like that he killed a lot of drones earlier on. It was kind of nice overall. He killed 14 drones, but he was actually killing drones when the Zerg was not fully saturated yet. If he commits to double factory reactor, or a double factory Hellion production like that, if he commits, like, if he makes a bunch of Hellbats, I would love it if they're just, like, constantly on the map being aggressive, and every time the Zerg tries to move out, the Terran kills more economy. I feel like that would be more of a useful way to do it, rather than having Hellbats try to defend the third against someone you already know is going Roaches. You're never going to win against the Roaches when that happens with Hellbats. So I would always recommend, you just keep using your Hellions as an aggressive move across the map. The only time you should ever have your Hellbats defending is if you already have a bunch of bio with your Hellbats ready to go to deal with something like Roaches. Because yeah, if you leave your Hellbats here, you're already putting yourself into the situation where you're gonna have to fight Hellbat versus Roach, and you're never gonna win that fight. And I feel like because of that, because he did fight Hellbats and Roaches at the third, that wasn't a great fight for him. He had to evacuate the third. It slowed his whole build down, which is why there was a timing the Zerg could do to kill him when he did. If the third didn't have to get evacuated when it did, the Terran would have had more of an army here, which could have been the difference to not die. But anyways, that's pretty much it, guys. I hope either Terran or Zerg players alike found something I said there useful, found it interesting. I feel like this game is a lot about timing and hitting certain timings, which is a lot about how StarCraft is played, which is totally good, totally fine. But yeah, that's gonna be the end of the video, guys. Hope you liked it. If you did like it, there's a lot more you can watch on the YouTube. Just keep checking around, more VODs, more videos. But I'll see you in the next one. Peace out, guys. Goodbye. Later.